This is a Montrose Makerspace today for March 16th, 2015. I'm trying a new thing tonight. I've just kind of decided that we need to move to using Hangouts on the air to record these for a couple of reasons. One, well, for a lot of reasons. One, I'd like to kind of move the recording of this into the Makerspace hours. So when Kern and I are over there, we'll do a tag team back and forth. We'll talk about the activities that happened in the Makerspace. By doing it on the air, that enables other people to actually join in and have a conversation with us while we're recording. And I think that'd be a great addition to this. And the other thing that this will do is it's directly uploading to YouTube while we're recording. So I don't have this post-production thing that I have to do and wait for that upload to occur. The last Makerspace Today episode that I recorded, the one that was really long, 30 minutes long, it took it a really long time to upload, and I don't need to fuss with that because I've been doing this stuff at night, and I don't need to wait another half an hour for it to get up to YouTube to get there. So, and then the big thing I wanted to do is to be able to incorporate screencasts, screen sharing into these videos to show you drawings or other aspects that are attractive without having to mix it in post later. So those are all the attractions for that. So if this works out, it's going to work great. This is a first try. I fussed with this for about 10 minutes. I watched a couple of YouTube videos, and then I came in here and I played with it enough to be dangerous, but well, I'll get the hang of things as we go along. The real thing is that there's no post, so I can't start over again. I'm going to turn the camera on. We're going to start yapping. So we'll try something first. All right, I'm going to share over here to you a screen that this is the floor plan drawing for the facility. So we have a upper level and a lower level floor plan. This is the lower level floor plan. And just talk about some of the features of this. This is our proposed floor plan. It came from Patrick. I remember Patrick's a local architect that would like to learn how to weld. And so he has developed a plan for us. And at the end, we need to teach him how to weld, which is what we plan on doing. So here's the ground floor. This is the three rooms that are over on the west side of the building are right here. This is the lab with the original walls that are in place. And this is where we're going to have our workstations, 5 workstations from the city, and also the person that's going to be manning the workspace, the makerspace, is going to sit right here. This is the main access door. So people will come in here, they'll kind of check in with this person, and then they'll get to enter the space, so they can come into the lab or whatever. And we have, looks like there's been an additional bathroom added. This is probably a requirement from a male-female perspective, as well as the stalls are actually, size have been increased to accommodate a wheelchair for ADA compliance. So if you look back here, there's a library that's right here. This is a walk-through to the outside door. This door doesn't exist currently. We want to punch through the wall and put that in. And then there's a small apartment back here. This is an apartment for if we have veterans that come into town that need prosthetic adaptation made for access over at the water park. They could stay in here. If we have visiting people that come in, want to talk about our manufacturing, or it's just a general use thing that we can actually offer housing, temporary housing for some people to use the makerspace. And out here, this is the existing concrete deck that's there, and there's 2 tables out here, room for 8 to kind of converse. And this is facing west, so this 6450 road is right up here. And then we have our some fitness equipment over here. And then we're putting some stairs down to the grassy area. So this is the grassy area that's actually between our building and 6450 road. Over here we have an awning, so when people come in, they can actually we don't have weather issues here or ice buildup in entering the facility on this sidewalk. And then we have a smoking area out here. This was actually added in as a foreseeing the fact that a lot of veterans smoke. So we want to provide them the ability to go out and do that outside of the facility. So this is the ground floor. One big thing that's kind of changed is the current door that's into the lab is located in these two bays right here. And this is a window. We're going to have to move this door over to this window bay and kind of close this one off. The reason we need to do that is the current stairwell that's in there is geared for storage access to the second floor, and the rise over run requirements, we can't use that same rise over run. It's just too steep to go up. So this enables us to have a very long stairwell, and then also provision for a lift. And so because we want to have everyone have access to the second floor. So we'll move on to the second floor. This is the stairwell again. Here's our lifts, and you'll see that there's there's a lot of activity going on up here. There's two private offices over here. This will probably be a shared office between Kern and myself and the executive director over here. We have a conference room up here with seating for 9 and a television on the wall. And then over in this area, this is the actual lounge itself. So we have seating around the television here. And then we have a pool table up here. Currently, there's a ping pong table upstairs. So we'll leave a table here that could be used for recreation, and we'll also create a top for it. So if you want to use it as a work area up here, that's also possible. Out here is our cafe area. So we have 3 tables with seating for 12. And we'll also have a bar area right here with seating for 4. And these people actually face out and look into the makerspace itself. Over here we have a kitchen with seating for 4 and a small kitchenette around this corner. And here's the existing hot water heater. And a nice feature of this layout is that there's actually a pass-through in this wall, so that if someone is actually up here preparing the lunch for the conference, they can pass it through this wall without actually opening the door. That's extra fancy. So this is the proposed layout, and it really looks good. We'd like to thank Patrick for that. We did show this at our board meeting today, and so we kind of know what we're up against in terms of trying to find funding for that, or also as well as being able to work this as a plan. The upstairs is kind of a blank slate right now. The downstairs will require quite a bit of construction to complete the downstairs. So that's that there. So let's go over here and stop this sharing and go back to me. 1:30, we met with Dale. He's a local insurance agent. He came by to talk to us about insurance. We got some quotes from insurance agents that have written quotes for other maker spaces, and Dale actually looked at those and got an idea of what we're trying to do. And he said that the quotes that we got were really insufficient to protect the makerspace as well as to protect the owner of the facility, which is Ross. So he's working on that. He was there for about an hour and a half, and Susan and Annie and myself talked to Dale for about an hour and a half. He's going to he kind of knows what we need to do. We kind of agreed on a strategy. So he emailed me tonight with some additional questions. I answered those and sent that off. So he's going to kind of work on some quotes tomorrow with some carriers for that. I got out of there by 3 o'clock and had a chance to get a little grab a bite to eat for lunch. It's been very hectic because I was basically been gone for 2 weeks, and today was the first day back, so it was pretty packed. What time is it now? It's about 1 o'clock now. 1 a.m. At 4 o'clock, we had our 4th board meeting. Everyone is there with the exception of Colleen. She told us at the last board meeting that to this particular Monday was not, she can't attend today's meeting. So we marched on without her, and everyone was upbeat. We gave an update to the board on our financial situation, as well as the insurance discussion that we just had. Some operational things that we've been discussing, and we talked about the opening, when that's actually going to happen. We've been slowly migrating not migrating. We've been slowly working on getting the doors open. We've been working purely on volunteer hours, and so we've been plodding along, trying to get all the course curriculum created, get the volunteer mechanism, get the facility safe. So last week we decided that we're going to we want to send out our first email to give a status update of the makerspace, and during that email we want to send out a call for volunteers, and because we know what we want them to do now. They're in 3 areas. The first one is facility safety. We want to get this facility safe. So we're looking for volunteers that have experience in making a facility safe from a machine perspective, as well as being open to the public. The next one is the curriculum development for the basic operation safety classes that we have listed on the website. And the third one is volunteers. In order for us to actually open the door, we need to have someone there all the time, so that we can. So from a safety perspective, we're not going to allow makers to be in the facility by themselves. So if we're going to be open from 3 to 11 p.m. every day, as well as all day on Saturday and Sunday, we got to find volunteers to actually man that little seat that's over there. And so we need to find the volunteers to man the hours. Then we need to find people to actually create the content to train the volunteers to man the hours, and we need to find someone that actually can coordinate all the volunteer activity. So that's a very large chunk of work that we need to do before we can open the doors. So that board meeting ended up getting done around 5:30. That was it was an hour and a half. It was a very quick board meeting. Our next one is going to be on April 20th. I didn't get to writing that the first email to go out, and that's what I'm going to concentrate tomorrow morning. So if you're going to try to get a hold of me tomorrow morning, I'm not going to answer the phone. I'm not going to answer email. I'm going to focus on sending out that email. So Kern and I were supposed to do this on Saturday and get Susan to kind of look at things, and as well as Melanie, and we're going to go through that. Kern came back from his trip out to California. Remember, he was at an open source convention. He was in California. Well, he came back sick as a dog, and he wasn't able to actually move on Saturday. He was at the board meeting today, but everyone kind of stayed away from him. So we're going to work on that tomorrow, hopefully get that out. And that's going to include a call for help. This email, sorry, I'm jumping around. It's that call for help. And then we think we want to do is like 3 work sessions, one day, or, like maybe 4-hour work sessions on each one of the topics: facility maintenance, course curriculum development, as well as the volunteer aspect. So expect to get that very soon. As I was leaving today, John came in. John is currently still employed at my former employer, and he came in to find out what we're up to. He's been reading all the things in the press that we've been going over, and he came by to just find out, what the status was, and as well as what he could possibly do. Now, John is a draftsman over at my former employer. And so he basically works on SolidWorks all day long. So he's kind of offered to teach SolidWorks classes which is great. But I asked him, what if you had a teaching facility and you wanted to teach what you wanted to teach, not what we need, what would you teach? And he said, well, I'd like to do car body models. And I said, really? Like with SolidWorks? And he's like, no, let's do it in clay. So let's teach people how to model in clay, because you have to know how to do that in order to actually do modeling in 3 dimensions. It really is beneficial. So that's what he would like to actually teach. So I said, let's make that happen. So it's very good to have John come in. I've known him for probably 3.5 years now. So he's really excited about it, about the Makerspace as well. I got a lot of emails to follow up on. I didn't get to those today, so I don't know if you're watching this. I'm going to get to all that stuff tomorrow. My calendar for tomorrow is packed in the morning already. So tonight I went on to YouTube and I played around with this, what is this called? Hangout on the Air. I played around with it for a little bit. And while I was on YouTube, I was looking through I was looking through our video manager, and I saw that one of one of these Makerspace Todays was actually, what did they say? This content violation, not content violation. It was flagged. And so I was like, well, I'm relatively new to doing stuff on YouTube. So I know that you don't want to record a lot of music, but I went through and I looked at this thing, and I couldn't figure out what the copyright issue was. And so I got through and I thought, well, maybe it was what I was wearing on this logo on my t-shirt. No, that wasn't it. So I clicked around a little bit and I got pinged by EMI because I incorporated the Deep Purple song Lazy into that 8-track segment. And it had enough of the Lazy song in there to actually get tagged. So because of that, they added, what do they call it? They added monetization to that video, which I'm fine with. So I'll try to avoid having that happen in the future. Well, that's about it for Makerspace Today for March the 16th, 2015. See you tomorrow.